Hi everybody, Andi Kravljaca here, celebrating 100 YouTube videos today. That's right, this is my 100th public YouTube video. But enough about that, it's time for Q&A Part 6. Straight to the questions. Number 1, Adrian asks, so how is life in Stockholm? Pretty good. Martin asks, I was wondering what bands do you like? What bands inspired you mostly when learning the whole shredding type routines? Well, Martin, my practice routine was usually comprised of 3 albums. It was Sonata Arctica's Ecliptica album, and then it would be a Stradivarius album, whichever one it was, Visions or Episode or Destiny. And then I'd finish off by playing Yngwie Malmsteen's Fire and Ice, sometimes Seventh Sign. And that would be like the first run through, and then I would run through all the 3 albums again, just playing them from start to finish. So about 6 hours of practice a day. I used to do that for years, and that was really the kind of everything that informed how to play. So my playing is a mixture of like Yngwie and Timo Tolkki and Jani Limatainen, which I think you can hear in the kind of things that I do with the guitar. And as far as playing keyboard as well, everything is Jens Johansson, who of course played with all 3 of those bands. Aditya wants to know, how do you find the guitarist Nuno Bettencourt from the band Extreme? Don't have an informed opinion. I haven't heard a lot. What I've heard, I've liked. I know that Johan Livendahl from Seventh Wonder used to have a Nuno Bettencourt signature guitar and was quite influenced by Nuno's playing. And of course, Johan is an amazing guitar player who since has found an identity of his own, which far surpasses any of his idols. But as for me, I don't really have an opinion aside from the fact that, yeah, I kind of like it. Metal Owens wants to know, hey, do you like any of Alexi Laiho's guitar work? Yeah, I really like Alexi Laiho's playing. Unfortunately, I never really listened a lot because, you know, bands that only use growling, we covered that in another Q&A video. But as far as an instrumentalist, just as a guitarist, I think he has amazing skill. And he, of course, used to be a Jackson guy before he jumped ship over to ESP. So that was also a factor in me really kind of listening to and liking his playing when he was rocking out the Randy Rhodeses. Now a 3-part question. Daniel wants to know, I have a question about a technique or lick you did in TOS, Tornado of Souls. It's the one around 36 seconds to 42 seconds where you tap and then you use your pinky to get a harmonic. What are you even doing? Where did you come up with that? Anon wants to know, dude, did you invent this harmonic tap bend? And if so, do you mind if I start using it? It sounds so badass. And Bennett wants to know, could you teach me how to do the harmonic tap bend move? I don't understand how it works. Okay, Daniel, so at least the first part of your question is answered by the following 2 questions. It is called the harmonic tap bend, and yes, indeed, I did invent it. For those of you who haven't heard the harmonic tap bend, it is the lick employed in this part of one of the solos. And in this clip right here. I came up with the technique after watching John Mayung play bass at a friend's house for an evening, and kind of being inspired by the way he would use his right hand on the fretboard and the stuff he does with harmonics and so on. It solved a problem I always wanted to do. I wanted to do 3 things in one move, and I could never really find a way to do that because I only had 2 hands. Now, a whole bunch of years ago, like in 2008 or whatever, I recorded a video, an instructional video on how to do the harmonic tap bend, and you can find a link to it right here in the corner. And if you do mind the fact that it is a basically 10-year-old video, do hit me up in the comments and I'll see if it's worth making a new version of that. Barbara wants to know, who chose that wallpaper? Why, you got a problem with it? This is a rental. You're not allowed to change the wallpapers. So when my wife Elizabeth and I moved into this apartment, we were kind of sad to notice that this had of course been some kind of nursery or kids room before we had it, and the wallpaper was quite heavily damaged with crayons and felt tip pens. So we actually got in touch with the landlord, and the landlord offered graciously to replace the wallpaper. Now we thought, you know, municipal landlord, this is going to be like white and 1 shade of beige and maybe light gray. But they gave us a catalog that included a lot of really nice artistic wallpaper, and so we chose this very abstract looking pattern Now, I chose it personally because I wanted something which was visually striking and would inspire me and allow me to kind of rest my eyes on it for this room, which was meant to be a studio from the get-go. Finally, Alma wants to know if you could make a record or maybe sing a duet with any musician, past or present, dead or alive, who would you choose? And what would your 3 desert island discs be? Now, those are impossible questions. Past or present, alive or dead? I mean, that opens up far too many possibilities. I mean, but if we just limit ourselves to this kind of basic genre, what would it be? Well, of course, it's people largely I've had the opportunity to work with already, and for that I'm very grateful. I've been very fortunate to appear on a couple of albums with Göran Hedman, who is my biggest musical idol and vocal idol. I've had the great fortune of having one of our songs remixed by Remy Gallego and The Algorithm. I've stood on the same stage as Paul Ortiz from Chimps Banner, you know, bands like Tesseract and so on. There's just so much amazing music being done these days. But as for my 3 desert island discs, I mean, I don't listen to a lot of metal, because if you start to do music to the level where I'm doing it, and I don't mean level success-wise, I mean level work-wise, where I'm putting out a video every week, you know, I'm putting out 2 albums this year, and making music videos and so on, and it just stresses me out to the point where I can't fall asleep listening to music. I don't really like listening to music when I drive, don't really like listening to music when I'm trying to fall asleep on an airplane or anything like that. So, you know, I listen to a lot of lectures, and I find in general that helps me relax to a greater degree. So my somewhat boring answer would be that my 3 desert island discs would probably be filled with, you know, esoteric information, and would be full of science and, you know, things like that. Thank you very much for asking your questions. As always, you can reach me on all the social media links I've posted in the description below, or at askandyKravljaca@gmail.com. If you like this video, please go ahead and like it. Over here, you'll find a playlist of my Q&A videos, which I've done in the past. Over here, you'll find me trying to get some tones right on some songs I've been covering. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, there's a nice round subscribe button right here, which I definitely hope you will click on if you haven't done so already. My name is Andi Kravljaca. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. 100 videos! Woo!